All right, guys, welcome back to the shack. And today I'm going to show you something that I personally have never seen since I got into hobby lasers, and it's new to me, so I figure it'd be new to most of you guys. There's a new machine on the market, and it's made by my friends over at Acmer. And when they reached out a few months ago and asked me if I'd be willing to be one of the folks to try out the machine when they got it ready to release, I couldn't resist, guys. The machine is unlike anything I've had in the shop before, so I had to try it out. So stick around and we'll be right back, and we're going to get into this thing and see what it can do. All right, guys, so you know I hate typical unboxings and just regular review videos. Not a fan of those. So I'm going to try to give you the practical version of this, and hopefully I'll explain everything, point out all the pros, the cons, the good things, the bad things about the machine. And yes, as usual, I found a couple of things that needed improvement. But all in all, guys, this is a great machine in an affordable package, which is what I've grown to kind of expect from Acmer. So I've had pretty much every machine they've ever made, and I was really looking forward to this guy. And the name of the machine, you guessed it, is going to be the Acmer P3. And guys, this machine comes in several different flavors. You can get the 2-watt IR, you can get the 10-watt blue with the 2-watt IR, which is what I have, which is the 2-in-1. You can get a 24-watt, you can get a 48-watt, and so you've got a variety of different power variations you can get with the machine. But because I had never seen anybody else do it, I asked for the 2-in-1, which is the blue diode and the IR in the same module. And guys, it's pretty awesome. I know a lot of you do engraving, and you have the 2-watt IRs where you have to swap out the module and change the wires and all that. This machine, they did fix that problem. It's the flip of a switch. So that is pretty cool. So without any further ado, guys, let's get under the hood of this thing, and let me show you the things that I think make it a competitor for one of the most up-to-date and most innovative machines on the market right now. So let's get over to the table and check it out. All right, guys, so we're going to use the little small handheld camera for this, just to give you a little bit better view. As you can see outside, this thing looks pretty awesome. It does come fully equipped with everything you need to get started. I will warn you, the USB is a little short. I'm using a longer one that I had here in the shop. But as you can see, fully enclosed. It kind of resembles a sports car. It's pretty cool. When you turn it on, it does have lights on the inside. Front of it lights up. I like the badging on it. It looks pretty cool. Low light conditions, guys, this thing's pretty sharp. We'll give you a little walk around here. These are the switches for both the fan as well as the lights. And you can turn those on and off however you want. If you don't want to use those, you can flip the switch and they'll go off, of course. But for the most part, all of your connections are up here. You've got the output for the air assist as well as the air line going in. This is the air assist, and it makes a good place to keep the lens cover, which has magnets. That was a good job on your part, Acmer. I love the magnetic idea. Those things come off of my machines. So pretty much all your connectivity is going to be right here. Air assist connections, USB power. That is it. It does have the e-stop power button. It has the switch, but guys, this was not annoying. It actually will allow you to take the key out and not use this if you choose, which I love. All right, as you can see, there is a camera installed in the enclosure. So let's see what's under the hood, guys. And I'm going to turn this thing off so it won't be quite as noisy. There you go. So it is a little, like I said, for you guys that don't like noise, it is a little noisy. I had a little bit of a light leakage right here. I'll show you up here in the corner. I know it says it's a Class 1 machine, but as you walk around this machine, if you're walking through here, there was a couple of instances where I could see the blue laser through that little hole right there. And so I made me a 3D printable little safety cover and super glued them to the inside. And because that is a safety concern for me, guys, I will drop a link down below and I'll share my 3D print file with you. You just need to bring your own super glue, and you can use these little pieces here to line that up and just glue it to the acrylic and give yourself another barrier just in case you were to look through there. The machine says it's class 1, and for the most part, that little leak, as well as there's a little bit of a reflected light leak here, but I wasn't concerned with that one because the chances of light coming straight through that hole, not that great. So this is more or less, you can see it, but it really wasn't a concern to me. But, you know, be aware of that. But this one over here kind of concerned me, especially doing reflective materials and stuff. But as you can see, I've been playing a lot with the IR. While we're under the hood of this thing, guys, I want to show you this unique belt structure. Yeah, it borrows its design with the belts from 3D printers, and that core XY setup is really cool. It makes the machine really, really fast. So with this module, we'll roll this out here where you can see it a little better. This is a 2-in-1. It does do blue or 1064. And this is the little switch that I was talking about right here. You just flip that switch, and let me turn it on so I can show you. It'll be red for IR and blue for blue laser. Pretty good touch. That's pretty awesome. The only thing is I wish they'd have changed it to where the little pointer dot right here would turn red also, because you have to look around here. You're not going to be able to tell by that. So, you know, just cosmetic stuff, but yeah, you have to look at this side to make sure you go from red to blue. So there we are. But yeah, nice build. The machine does have, guys, for those of you like me that like to run air assist, it actually does have a low flow continual on for the air assist right there. You've got an easy connection for the roller that they sell. There's your TF card connection. And the camera actually, unlike some other machines, guys, you've only got one USB output. The camera piggybacks the signal. So you use one cable for both the camera and Lightburn, which is something I haven't seen before on a machine as well. So a couple more things we'll point out before we get to talking about what it does. It does have a crumb tray that slides out. Now this is pretty handy. Instead of having to pick all those little pieces out, you can actually dump them out. I was a little concerned that stuff was going to get stuck underneath here, but so far, so good. Even the little tiny pieces are pulling out pretty good. I will say this, they adhered the honeycomb to the little bed here, but only at the bottom. And then there's this magnet that is right here in the middle, and it does a pretty good job, but you could still push it from side to side. You can see it moves a little bit, but I cut myself some little strips of wood and cut them exactly the width needed to hold that in there, and I don't remember the measurement, but I'm wanting to say it was like 23 millimeters, if I'm not mistaken. You can measure this and see, but those just sit in there and act as spacers to keep that thing to keep it from moving, so that I can use it to kind of jig stuff with and make sure everything's square. So that was pretty handy. But yeah, that's pretty neat. The only thing is when you're using it as a jig, you do want to kind of make sure that you've got it all the way in there and push toward the back. It wouldn't have hurt my feelings from to put some type of a retention right here so that you could make sure it didn't, you know, slide while you were using it if you're using it as a jig. All right, so let's get to looking at some of these test results right here, guys. All right, guys, so now let's get to the nuts and bolts of it. So one of the biggest and most exciting things that I think people are going to like about this machine, not only is the fact that you can buy a module that swaps between the blue and the IR without having to play musical, you know, laser heads or musical power supplies or changing out boards. It's pretty easy. Acmer has taken the liberty to make this machine about as, you know, design your own machine as it can get, guys. With the swap, like I said, you can literally buy one of each module if you want and just swap the module out without having to do, you know, the controller and all the other parts. And that's pretty cool. One of the key things with this machine that I think most folks are going to appreciate is the module swap, and the fact that you don't have to Frankenstein the machine to swap from the 2 watt to 10 watts to 24 all the way up to 48. I think that's really cool. And with this module, all you really have, you have the hose for the air that literally pops off. You have this pretty robust connector for the controller, for the module itself. And then once you loosen the thumb screws, she comes off. And so like I said, this is the 2-in-1 module, guys. There's a little bit better look at that switch out here in the daylight if you want to look at it. It does have the little cone here. And like I said, with the safety shield, it actually just snaps on and snaps off. Now you gotta have it on there the right way. But it will literally snap on there with the magnets, and then you can pull it off. So that's pretty handy if you want to use this thing. I took it off, but if you look at the way that it's built, it's really not going to affect a whole lot of your distance, but I have a phobia that these guys are going to catch my material. And I will say with this 10-2 here, the distance that it sits above the material, it's kind of tight. So I'll take every little bit of room I can get. And as you can see, the air assist cone more or less feeds from here, comes down into here, and then across there. There's a couple of, actually there's 4 little screws right there to take that cone off if you need to take it off to service or clean it, which I haven't done yet. So maybe a video in the future about how to go about cleaning it. So in the event that we had a 48-watt module, from what Acmer has told me, we could literally take it now and put it back in the place of this 10-2. And I think that's pretty cool. No controller has to be redone. No power packs having to be changed out. I think that's pretty cool, especially from a machine that's priced the way that Acmer prices their machines. So let's put this thing back together and we'll get back to talking about what the machine can do instead of how it's built. All right, guys, so now that we've talked about how the machine's put together, let's talk about what the machine is capable of and what to expect from the machine. Now, this is the 10-watt. This is a 10-watt blue with a 2-watt IR. So this machine's ideal for engraving, cutting, not so much. It will cut, however, but I would strongly recommend, if you're going to be cutting with this machine, stick with materials that are 1/8 of an inch or less. I have been successful, and I made quite a few of these little Christmas ornaments today with it. I have been successfully cutting 1/8 inch plywood at around 4 or 5 millimeters a second with this machine in one pass. It's been doing a really good job. Not a lot of scorching. The air assist is doing exactly what it's supposed to do. And so far, between the speeds of 4 and 5 millimeters a second, because of the air assist setup and the way that the machine operates, haven't had any fires or attempted fires on the part of the material. And so with this machine, I think it's safe to say that 1/8 of an inch material, 4 to 5 millimeters a second, hopefully will get you a single pass cut. And you can make some cool little Christmas decorations like this. This is 1/8 inch plywood that I painted. I cut it and then I painted it silver and then painted the second layer black to create these little ornaments. And I've got a pile of them over there that I've got to put together. We're going to use those in another video later. So if you're getting ready for Christmas, stay tuned and watch for that one. But the different materials that you can engrave with this machine is what makes it awesome in my book. All right, so for those of you that aren't familiar with an IR module or 1064 nanometers, the reason you would want a module that you could switch between the two is for engraving pretty much any substance around. The one exception that you're not going to be able to engrave, guys, with either the IR or the blue is going to be anything clear. Most acrylics with different colors, there's a couple of colors, black, red, and orange, that you'll have really good luck with black, some success with orange and red, but other than that, don't expect much from blue or red lasers when it comes to acrylics. Now, the cool thing with IR is the IR enables you to do metals within reason and have effect on metallic objects. And that's pretty cool. And all of the advertisements, guys, and I'm gonna try to get you to be able to see this, but all of the advertisements will tell you how you can get color with fiber or 1064 nanometers. You can get color, you can get color. And you can. And I'll try to take a picture of this and show it to you a little better. You can make color, but can you predict the color you're gonna make? I can't. So if you're good enough to do that, hats off to you, lots of practice. This was my attempt at replicating the color, and I used settings from this power scale here to do this text on the same material, maybe 2 inches away, and still did not get the color that I was shooting for. So just know that making color with either the blue or the 1064 nanometer gantry style machine without a MOPA, it's going to be challenging. It's still challenging with a MOPA, but it's easier than with these guys. So if that's your dream, is to do color, good luck. But anyway, it does allow you to do some really awesome marking of stainless steel, brass, copper. Like most metals, you'll be able to mark with the 2-watt. And especially with this machine, unlike a lot of the machines that have an IR module, which, you know, like their galvos, which typically have a 6 to 8 inch work area, with this machine, you've almost got the 400 by 400. I think it's 390 by 400, so you can get creative. One of the things that I think this machine would be really handy for is doing the tags that I like to do. When I use these tags with the galvos, I'm limited to doing it either in the center or, you know, breaking my design up into a couple of different sectors and just doing like part of it over here and part of it over here. But with this machine, I could literally do a full wrap, so to speak, on this license plate and not have to worry about trying to line everything up perfectly. So that's one of the things that I think that this machine would be really suitable for, and I really want to try to do one of these guys and do like the whole canvas with this machine. So that very well may be a project we're going to do in the future. But that's where the IR comes into play. With the blue laser, you can engrave anodized material, but to get this white color like you're getting here and not expose the shiny metallic surface, you got to have the IR module to be able to pull that off. If you use the blue laser, it's simply going to remove the anodization and expose the aluminum underneath. So that's where having that IR is really handy. Also, you can do images and so forth on anodized aluminum cards and things like that. And it's relatively fast. As you can see, that's 500 millimeters a second. This is my little test card that I was doing to come up with the settings to knock this guy out. So if you're into these kind of little things, it's pretty cool. It's a nice medium, and you can do some really high resolution stuff with anodized aluminum. Now, as far as the wood, like I said, guys, 1/8 inch material, it's doing pretty well, but I would keep it to 4 millimeters a second. As you can see, 4 millimeters a second at 100%. I had really good luck, so I wouldn't go any lower if you don't have to, but that's what I was having go with that. And as far as the engraving on wood, 3 millimeter basswood, the engraving, it does a really good job of shading. As you can see, I did the power spectrum all the way from 50 millimeters a second up to 250 millimeters a second. And you can see that even at 250 millimeters a second at 100% power, I'm still marking it, you know, maybe not exactly the way that you would like to, but I think that if you look right here within the 120, this very last line right here, that is plenty dark enough on this basswood for most projects that you're going to be engraving. So the engraving, the spot size of this 10-watt, the engraving capability is going to be really, really good. Another thing that I know that this machine would be really good at with the IR is going to be things like mirrors, engraving mirrors, being able to clean the material off the back of them to do a mirror engrave. And with this machine, you could actually do up to, you know, a 12-inch mirror and do the frame, the mirror, everything on the machine using 3 millimeter material. So with this machine, there's a lot of different projects that you can do. And then, like I said, you can also go ahead and get the 24 or the 48 watt if you need those modules for the heavy cutting and stuff. So all together, guys, the package, the way it's put together, the way it operates, the portability, I mean, it's a good machine. There were a few things that I think maybe they should have paid a little more attention to. Mostly the thing is the little holes they cut in the side for the air. I don't think it would have took too much work to maybe cut a couple more pieces of acrylic, put some standoffs in there. And I'm pretty sure after they see this video, they probably will. But like I said, guys, if you want to take the time, if you have this machine and you want to take the time to make sure that your machine's a little safer, I will drop a link down below to the STL file for my little covers here and you can 3D print those yourself and glue those in there just as a fail-safe to protect kids or anybody that may walk in that may be unaware of the potential. So other than that, guys, the machine, the air assist, everything, the total package, it's a bargain. It works really well. And I really like to say thanks to Acmer. Like I said, they have included me with most every machine release that they have done so far. And I think they do a really, really good job with these machines. I would, like I said, I would, however, like to have had the 48 watt to play with, but I wanted to see the 10 too, guys. The 2 lasers in one module, I felt was something new and innovative, more so than just 48 watts. So short of a Z-axis that has autofocus, guys, this thing has pretty much everything. The new XY setup with the belts is really fast, it's really smooth, and it's pretty awesome. So I'll drop links down below if you want to go look at any of the nerd specs or anything like that, any of the numbers. Feel free to go check that out. If you've got questions about the dot size or how many watts it pulls and all that good stuff, I try not to bore you guys with the numbers, just what I think about the machine and what I think is good at. So go check that out. There'll be a link down there. And until we get around to doing another project with it, guys, stay safe and have a good day.